Beyond the Golden Gate Bridge awaits glorious Marin County, home to sweeping vistas, diverse cultures, and inspiring causes. Join us for Marinterviews, profiling people and projects, creating a meaningful impact in our community. Hi there, welcome back to Marinterviews, where we showcase people and projects that are making Marin the fabulous place it is. I'm Sandra Riley Grimshaw, and today joining me is Oshalla D with the Marin City, or is it just MC Gallery?
It's MC, but yes, it's MC Arts Gallery.
And I love what you're doing there, but I'd love to know more. How did you actually have this idea to start a gallery?
Right. Actually, the idea was really, for those of you that garden, right? Mm-hmm. You plant seeds, mm-hmm. and sometimes in the package of seeds, sometimes, especially if you get wild seeds or hybrid seeds, there's other things that might be in that package.
Little surprises.
Right. Little volunteers.
Yeah.
So I've been planting seeds through my life. As being in the theater,
being an artist
dancer,
yourself, yep.
Right, not a visual artist.
Right,
I'm definitely not a visual artist. But being and then very early on in my career, and I started very early with mm-hmm. Oakland Ensemble Theater. I was here at Belrose, took classes there when
really?
when I was 12.
Oh
right?
My gosh!
So I knew Miss Margie, and Belrose. But I knew that as a Black woman, that it was really going to be important for me to expand into other training, other, where my cultural experience specifically was addressed and able to portray those roles. And so I got into theater at Oakland Ensemble Theater. Was commuting, but I didn't have a car. I was taking the BART over. I'm saying that to say that those seeds of theater and dance really helped to put me in a place where directing an art gallery, because I never saw myself, one, as an arts administrator, two, as a curator of an art gallery. Right. I did not.
Yeah.
But bringing artists together with the idea that we are more effective and powerful when we're united.
That community.
Right. When we were united
Absolutely.
in community. As an actress, after I had been in the industry for quite some time, you get to a point where you're saying, you know what, I can continue to go on auditions and all that, or I can create my own things.
Yeah.
And then I can always be in my own things, right? I can.
Good for you.
But my work was always, I did my arts, I did wellness for my day job, and I worked in my community, which is Marin City, just because I just always felt like that being an actress, being a poet, did not feel satisfying mm-hmm. in its own right. I felt that because my community is small, it just made sense. It was just something that fit well to have those 3 tracks. Mm-hmm. The day job, right, which was wellness and teaching dance and fitness,
right,
and the career as an actress, and I did pretty good with that.
Good.
And then working in the community. So I always came back in the community. They would ask me to come and dance and to do different things, to host, to be the MC, which is, again, the name MC.
Okay. So it's not Marin City
it
as
is
much
Marin
as...
City, but it's also Marin County. It's also
it is.
MC.
Yep.
It's master of the mic. It's
yep.
mistress of the mic. It is the spin master. MC has so many different.
You're right.
Thing. And what is the formula for energy? MC squared.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So that expresses exponential.
Yeah.
So when I was
you had a vision and you decided to create it.
Well, yeah. So I started that winding road when you asked me how did I get into it.
Yeah.
Because if I just had said, oh, this is, and give you that short version, it just sounds like, oh, it just popped up.
Yeah.
And I was looking to do an art gallery, but it didn't happen like that. It did happen with MC Arts and Culture, which I did found.
Okay.
And that was gathering together artists because we had been doing a Juneteenth festival every year, working for the Marin City Community Service District. I was doing the Juneteenth. So part of Juneteenth was bringing in artists and entrepreneurs from the community, from Marin City, but also from the Bay Area. Specifically Black artists and Black entrepreneurs. That was really important for me to make that distinction because as spaces become more gentrified, as we begin to lose literally more square footage,
right,
literally more square footage, I felt like not only is it important for the artists and the entrepreneurs to have powerful spaces to be able to do their thing, but it also is important for other people to be able to come and have that experience. Otherwise, we would never have Motown.
Right.
We would never have.
Talk about a small building.
Right, and we didn't. Then you didn't have to make a point of doing it. It just happened organically because you had places like, Philadelphia and Chicago where Black people were just there, and it was predominant.
But somebody still had to have that vision.
Well, of course,
and gather the community together,
exactly. But that's all kind of in it. So, one day. So now that's been determined, we had MC Arts and Culture. We did a show at the Civic Center called Black Beyond Borders, which is along the lines of what I just said.
All right.
It was a great show. It lasted for 3 months.
Was that 3 years ago?
Yeah, it was more than 3 years.
Yeah.
We lost time.
Yeah, we lost.
Yeah, so it was in 2019.
Yeah.
And we had 17 artists that exhibited. And it was really easy because it's like I knew so many artists. And when I was asked by the Cultural Commission in Marin, can you gather a group of artists together? I was like, yeah. But that we still weren't gathering to do an art exhibit. That came later. So with that core group of people, MC Arts and Culture was born, and out of that founding of Juneteenth. So now it's like we're online and we're doing pop-ups.
Oh, that's terrific.
That was the whole thing. We were doing pop-up, art gallery pop-up, and we were looking for a little space in Marin City. Like it was a 600 square foot space, and it was just difficult to get because other people were trying to get it. Long story short, after that, looking for that, having pop-up, having our representation online, one of the artists came up to me and said, hey, Oshalla, the shopping center, what have you thought of doing a pop-up at the shopping center? I was like, I know the shopping center was not really interested in having community organizations, and it was retail.
Too bad. Yeah.
It was their focus was retail.
Right.
I knew that because I had approached them several years prior to that. But this time I was like, okay, you know what, Melvin, I'm going to approach them. And this time I felt like we had this group of artists under my belt.
Yeah.
And we also had, the presence of the website. We had done this art exhibit at the Civic Center. And it was all well documented because of the internet.
You have a track record.
Right. A track record working with groups. Yeah. I had already had my own.
Yeah, exactly.
My own
You have
thing.
this new.
But now it's like representing a group. So out of that, it wasn't even surprise. I guess it was just meant for the timing. Yeah. The shopping center was open. I think it was a combination of it being an art gallery, which is adding.
Yes.
They had just put a whole Tesla parking lot in there, like 20.
Oh, for goodness sakes. Yeah.
So I think that their whole thing was let's pump the whole thing up. And
Plus a shopping center and the way things are going with brick and mortar having a hard time, they are, if managed well, they're a perfect situation to become a village. So why not have something where you can invite people to come and hang out and have a cup of coffee and see a gallery or see any creative outlet. I think that's what, look at how many sad shopping centers are out there. And the ones that I tend to go to are the ones that are doing a little bit more for the community or making a little village.
Well, that's on its way
Good.
I mean, I just see that we've been there for 3 years. I signed the lease 1 week before the shutdown.
Yeah. Yeah. I was
March
going to
the
ask how that
6th.
affected. Yeah. Wow. Wow.
So
That was a train wreck. I mean, all of us, right? Just kind of hearing in the news, and that's a lot of how we started this is me talking with Marin Link, who sponsors a lot of projects, and then saying we need to have more of a community out there, and let's spread the joy of what people are doing, and then boom, and we all had to just adjust and grow and shrink. It was, it was a very elastic time, I think. And I'm delighted that are you feeling like you're coming out a bit?
we are definitely through the whole process. We were right in the middle of a GoFundMe campaign.
Oh, good.
No, 3 years ago.
Oh, you were.
Yeah, right before.
Can you dust it off?
Well, yeah. I mean, I didn't revisit it.
Okay.
But it felt, because we signed the lease on March the 6th, the shutdown orders were literally, because we had started the fundraising end of February, and we were going on. We raised about $4,000 in the, because I hadn't been asking for money because I didn't have a nonprofit organization.
Right.
This is a business.
Yeah.
I got fiscally sponsored. It's like, I guess my mind knew that the work that I do is kind of non-profit like.
Right. Yeah.
So, but I did not want a board. I didn't want to have a nonprofit organization. That was just my personal choice. But so we were doing the GoFundMe, and then when the shutdown orders happened, it felt so inappropriate to continue it. So I stopped.
Yeah. No, that's a good point.
And, but what we were able to do, for all of you that donated, what we were able to do with that 4,000, it was 7 of us artists, and I said, look, we have a choice. We can spend this on the rent, or we can spend this on getting the building. No, we can spend it. We can wait, or we can, what are we? Anyway, I can't even remember. It was like, what are we going to do? $4,000 is not that much. When we got that building, it was gutted. It was just cement floor.
Okay.
There was paint on the windows.
Mm-hmm.
It hadn't been occupied for a long time. Holes in the floor. It was not a pretty sight.
There's a project
so we
right
spent
there.
that time painting the floors. All the work was 100% done in the community, hiring people that were living in Marin City.
Terrific.
Or in the East Bay. Just because staying true to integrity and staying true to our brand, staying true to our mission statement. We started it, painted the floors, the walls, and then after about 7 months of just kind of, okay, so now this is done. Marin Open Studios, because at that point we didn't have lights. We had the track lights were up, but we didn't have the lights.
Okay.
And that was kind of tipping us. It's like you can't have an art gallery without lights.
Right.
So Kay Carlson from Marin Open Studios had been in touch, seen kind of what we were doing with this space, knowing that, okay, we're about to open up a gallery. And they stepped in with the LED lights.
Terrific.
And so that was kind of our first, that was an extension of our GoFundMe. They stepped in, and that, and so, wow, okay, so now we have the space, we've got the floors painted, we got everything together. Now, how are we going to open with everyone's got to be 6 feet apart, wear a mask?
Right.
How are we going to do that? And then mask wearing in the art gallery. It's like, it just doesn't look good.
Yeah.
It's like, this is an art gallery, everybody. We're supposed to be, So, but what we did is, I thought about it. I said, you know what? We're going to do a masquerade ball.
Oh, how fun was
Yes,
that?
indeed. So how are you going to take masks?
Yeah.
And make them fabulous. So we did a masquerade ball. We had a band. We had a DJ. We had over 100 people come through that day. We had been 7 months in to the stay-at-home orders.
Right.
But Ross was open, Target was open. I was like, huh,
Yeah.
we're a small business.
Yeah.
I'll be,
Yeah.
if that, no, people are open. Small businesses aren't open.
Yep.
But we're going to open. I called the manager of the mall and I said, hey,
We keep doors
Terry,
open.
I said,
and
Terry,
yeah.
we're inviting you to our grand
Good for you.
opening.
Good for you.
You gonna come?
Yeah.
And she came.
That's great.
So,
That's great.
just investing people in that, we can be safe, you know, in that sense of the term and still be able to continue living life and being artists. And it was so important. Some of the people that came had not gone out of the house
Exactly.
for months. I saw some people, and one of them, who's an elder in the community, I was surprised. I said, I'm so glad you're here. He said, I just had to come out and support. I had to come out and support the gallery. And I didn't realize how much I was missing by being inside and not connecting with people. So we had 6 feet. We had a Soul Train line.
Oh,
People danced
wonderful.
in through the building and out and coming back in. So we really made that grand opening work. We had the art on the walls. And so from that point on, we have been hosting events.
All right. Okay.
Community people. Someone rented it for the Christmas.
Great.
We've had meetings there. People within families, have done things there. Small groups through that time, of difficulty. It was challenging was the retail because it's not like people were flocking in. It's not like I have a staff.
Right. So it's become it's a gallery because you can exhibit art and of any kind, but at the same time, it's a meeting place.
Yes.
It's a venue.
Yes.
And it sounds like it's just got a good vibe to it. I just think that's terrific.
You can come in and play the baby grand piano. And we work with the Sausalito Marin City School District.
Oh, great.
After school art classes. We
Classes
do a
and
live
programs.
Figure drawing class. There's a lot of things that we do. So yes, become
So it's really evolved.
a community. It's a community cultural institution and art gallery. Yes.
Oh, I hope you're proud of what you've done. That's amazing. And it just snowballed from like what you were thinking and then adjusting to the craziness of the world and now having this. Now, how do people hear about it or come to you? And do you have upcoming events?
Yes, I do want to just say that I like to use the term we.
Yeah.
Even though I'm definitely the big mama,
Yeah.
and the buck stops with me,
Right.
But I like to say we because, and then just fates and forces that are so far beyond me that created this to happen. So I feel almost uncomfortable to say, "Oh, it's my
It's all mine,
gallery."
me,
Like I
me.
start to feel like, "Well, wait a minute, is a boulder gonna drop on me?" I feel like we is important also to establish that, this is your gallery too. What do you want to do in the gallery? If you were promoting your arts career, like how can you make this space your own? What kind of deal can we make? How can I support you? So in that sense, it's definitely a we project. So that being said, the marketing is definitely has been challenging. We have our website.
Okay.
But it's very grassroots. Some of the best events that we have been word of mouth.
Yep.
I mean, that's not to say that we're not online. We are. We make it really easy. Like if you want to sign up you want to rent the gallery, you want to sign up.
Oh, good.
You go right on our website. Boom, 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 boom. I got a lot of coaching around. You got to have a landing page. You got to
Right.
have a go-to.
Absolutely.
You got to have them do something once you're there, right?
And we're going to commingle all our things when we get all of this done. So
Yes.
we'll have, how to reach out to you and what else to do.
Yes. So we partner. That I find that the more that we say we, that then you have a friend and you say, oh, wow, we need to do not necessarily a shoot because you're doing a shoot here, but
Right.
we're doing this project. And, is your gallery available during this time? Or all those kinds of things. So that it is definitely a community art gallery.
That's terrific. And word of mouth is sometimes the best thing for that. And yes, I understand that we're all stuck on this stuff. But
Yeah,
you know,
they both work. But because we're brick and mortar, people do come down. It's like, oh, wow, I didn't even know you were here, and they're just
Exactly.
walking to the bus stop.
Yeah.
or they're going to Ross. So Ross and Target are
your
anchors.
bookends, yeah.
There are bookends, and
aren't they lucky? They know.
I would think so. Target started selling black greeting cards after we had been there, and Ross art, black art specifically, not people of color art, black art, right?
Oh, wow.
After we had been there a few months.
Yeah.
So
somebody in that management group was paying attention.
exactly.
Let's
Right, but so part
that's
of our
great.
work is education as to why you should shop local, why you should buy from the artist and not necessarily the corporate Ross who has gotten,
Right.
someone to come in that they probably paid them $50 and now they're mass manufacturing it and all that. So part of what we're doing is educating to the local economy, supporting local artists, and that energy is growing throughout the Bay Area in little pockets. And
Good.
I'm very much on top of what is going on with our ecosystem of local artists and local entrepreneurs throughout the Bay Area.
because they got hurt. I mean,
A
some
lot hurt.
that
hurt.
shutdown was just so paralyzing for creative
Yes.
outlets and
Absolutely.
people and imaginations and minds.
Yes.
And I think and I love knowing that there's something out there that, is pulling together. And do you have like a wish list? What would be ideal or you just kind of going day by day?
No, there's definitely a wish list.
Yeah.
And we're definitely going day by day too. The wish list is that we want to have someone behind the desk. We want to have open hours. Right
Yeah,
now, the
okay.
gallery, just one of those little things.
Yeah.
We'd like to, because people always, God, I come in and I peek in and
Let me
you're
pop in.
you're never open.
Yeah.
And so at this point, we're open when I'm there.
Right.
And we do have a volunteer that's there, but we're working the system. In the
Okay.
beginning, when we started, it was that each artist was going to have a day. But life happens,
Yeah.
and people are in school, people work.
Yeah.
But again, that's why I say the buck stops with me, because it's like, look, everybody, I can't just take off.
Right. Right.
But that's been a blessing, because sometimes when you have to make all those final decisions, you don't have to check in with
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah.
There's more expediency.
Yeah.
So we did, for about 2 or 3 months, hire someone through a grant that we received.
All right.
During the pandemic, during the COVID era, and it just, we weren't selling enough in order
Yeah.
to justify that.
Yeah.
That it was good and people were dropping in. So my wish list, that's the top of the wish list, is having another GoFundMe or getting financing to literally pay for staff.
Right.
So that's going to be there. And that staff could be on part commission as well. And so I would say that's a huge one, to be able to do that. We are connecting more overseas. Like, we do have connections on the continent of Africa. We have vendors that do import export.
Wonderful.
And we have a gentleman, Michael Tab, who lives in a town called Elmina in Ghana. And so we're setting up our sister city relationship with them.
Wonderful.
So again, just more support, a personal assistant for myself.
Would be good. So with the student, you have a student internship, or just is it a performance class? Because I could see
Interning.
just 1 or 2 students
All that, yes.
could really excel at something like that.
I'm definitely, that is part of them. When you say wish list, and then day to day. That's part of the day to day, finding those people, going to the College of Arts, looking for people that this is what they want to do. They want to have a gallery, or they're an artist themselves and they want to exhibit, and they can do their homework while they're there, or they can. So it's the perfect situation. We are doing some work with the probation department and have young people come in. We're doing a cultural ambassador program.
Oh, terrific.
Where young people between the ages of 14 and 25 learn how to be strong in themselves as leaders, like being able to be cultured, because part of the arts for me, studying the arts, it naturally cultivates you. It cultivates you to read. It cultivates you to listen to music, different kinds of music. It cultivates you to be curious about literature. It cultivates you to look at different dance. It cultivates you to be able to be curious about different languages and being curious about different cultures. So cultural ambassador is just that. You come into the gallery, you're learning, you're looking at, not even learning, we're sharing what is arts and culture, and how does our culture connect to other cultures.
I think curiosity is the key. Curiosity can just, and being able to take the initiative to say, I don't know, I'm interested in this, how do I find out more about it? And I think, again, having, a venue like yours, or a community that you're building there, is really all it is getting the word out.
Yes, and community building is definitely a big part of it, because part of our mission statement is to cultivate new artists and to support new artists and cultivate an emerging group of young artists, because we notice that in the arts, the audiences that come to festivals, that go to productions, that go to plays, are older.
Yep.
So I get it that more people are staying at home and doing Netflix or the film, but all the industries have changed.
Yep.
And people are ordering food inside more. So the restaurant industry. So we have to really look at, so what we are looking at is, how do we mitigate those things? How do we reach out to, because when we did a paint and sip, a family paint and sip a couple of weeks ago. It was with the Center for Domestic Peace. I got some funding. I wrote a grant to work with Center for Domestic Peace, because we had done a project. They had approached me last year, and we came in and did a paint and sip, and it was a family paint and sip.
How fun.
And it was specifically for the families to come together and talk about healthy relationships, and to just have their children there as well. So it was so successful that when I was thinking of, okay, what is it? How do I want the year to be? And I thought of Center for Domestic Peace and Cynthia Williams, who is our community outreach person for Center for Domestic Peace.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, this is going to be we have 6 programs that are coming up with them. But the first one was a family paint and sip. And so they, so it was just a great way for that
people to come together,
what we were talking about was getting off of the phones.
Yes.
So when I observed, and I took video and I took pictures, it's like, what's different about this picture? What's different? There's nobody's on their phone. Yep. Everybody was engaged, looking at the canvas. Right?
And creating and being curious.
And creating. And we have a very brilliant paint and sip instructor. We have a couple of them that's guiding them through the process. So it's very much about focus. And so we're not having to do a course in why you should not be on your phone.
Right.
Why you shouldn't be doing with the arts, you don't have to do that. You just put it out there.
And when people are participating in something else, they will hopefully realize, I didn't miss it. And I created something. Yeah. And it's, engaging my brain and talent and interests. So.
Right. And the phone's over there. And they could reach for it. But that was something I really noticed as I was looking around the room,
Yeah.
it's like everybody,
They're
the young
engaged.
people
Yep.
of all ages were not on the phone.
Yep.
Unless they were taking pictures of
Or
everyone.
selfie up there.
Right.
Well, I could talk to you forever. I want to make sure we get all of the information on our site when we launch this. We're launching very shortly.
Okay.
And that people know that they can reach out to you. We'll have all of that information and your landing page. And as always, we hope donations come in. We're looking for sponsors too for what we do, and
Yes.
hopefully that will spill over into what you do.
Yes.
And it's just a delight to meet you. Thank you very much, and we'll stay in touch because I think this is really important.
And everyone is welcome at our gallery. We have tango nights.
Oh, how fun.
Everyone is if this is, although it is a space for Black artists that are hanging on the walls and celebrating culture of the African diaspora, everybody is welcome to come in.
It affects everybody.
Just everybody is welcome to come to the gallery and be there and enjoy. So I just want to encourage that in Southern Marin to be able to come down to the gallery, especially when we have our staff and we're open for 8 hours a day.
Yes, absolutely. So MC Arts Gallery, and again in Marin City, in between the Lucky Target and Ross.
Right. I think Target and Ross and Panda Express.
Well,
Google Map will take you to Panda Express, but then
isn't that funny?
You have to
find
look.
it.
Yeah,
well, we're happy to do
in
that.
the middle, yes, and then you'll see our website probably blinking on the bottom.
Yeah,
along with what you do.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna do too.
And we're supporting. We as artists, as an arts institution, we support all of the arts, all of the artists that are doing things, that are doing podcasting, that are bringing things like this to the community, because this is the way that we connect as more and more people check out of the mainstream media. We are the media. We are the media, and people are following suit.
And we have such a beautiful, diverse county. It's just important to showcase all aspects of it, and that's why we started our little program.
Yes, giving shout outs to just all the people who brought us here, including my grandparents who came here in 1942.
Oh, wonderful. Wow.
To Marin County.
Oh my gosh.
So
all right, we will wrap this up. This is great. We could just keep talking, and we'll be back again for another Marin Interviews very soon. And Oshalla, again, thank you.
Thanks for inviting me.
Marin Interviews, produced in partnership with Marin Arts, Marin Link, Truce, and D2ISF. Please join us on our mission. Nominate a person or program to be profiled either in studio, location, or Zoom. Sponsor a segment. We look forward to working with you.